We're going live.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 28, by His Grace Sundar Gopāl Prabhu. Vedeshu yajneshu tapahsu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Vedeshu, in the study of the Vedas. Yajneshu, in the performances of yajna, sacrifice. Tapahsu, in undergoing different types of austerities. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Daneshu, in giving charities. Yat, that which. Punya phalam, result of pious work. Pradishtam, indicated. Atyeti, surpasses. Tat sarvam, all those. Idam, this. Viditva, knowing. Yogi, the devotee. Param, supreme. Sthanam, abode. Upaiti, achieves. Cha, also. Adyam, original. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Please repeat. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Purport. This verse is the summation of the 7th and 8th chapters, which particularly deal with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order, and if the master neglects to call the student for food that day, the student fasts. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing brahmacharya. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for some time, at least from the age 5 to 20, he becomes a man of perfect character. Study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After this training, the brahmachari is allowed to enter into household life and marry. When he is a householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment. He must also give charity according to the country, time, and candidate, discriminating among charity in goodness, in passion, and in ignorance, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. Then, after retiring from household life, upon accepting the order of Vanaprastha, he undergoes severe penances, living in forests, dressing with tree bark, not shaving, etc. By carrying out the orders of brahmacharya, household life, Vanaprastha, and finally sannyas, one becomes elevated to the perfectional stage of life. Some are then elevated to the heavenly kingdoms, and when they become even more advanced, they are liberated in the spiritual sky, either in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti or in the Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Loka. This is the path outlined by Vedic literatures. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. The words idam viditva indicate that one should understand the instructions given by Sri Krishna in this chapter and the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or mental speculation, but by hearing them in association with devotees. Chapters 7 through 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 and the last 6 chapters are like coverings for the middle 6 chapters, which are especially protected by the Lord. If one is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially these middle 6 chapters, in the association of devotees, then his life at once becomes glorified beyond all penances, sacrifices, charities, speculations, etc. For one can achieve all the results of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. One who has a little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Krishna, not from mental speculators. This is a sign of faith. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets the devotee's association, one actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. By advancement in the association of the devotee, one is placed in devotional service, and this service dispels all one's misgivings about Krishna or God and Krishna's activities, form, pastimes, name, and other features. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one's study. Then one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains the state of feeling always Krishna conscious. In the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfectional stage of life enables the devotee to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual sky, Goloka Vrindavan, where the devotee becomes eternally happy. Thus, in the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of attaining the Supreme.
So, thank you very much for coming on board today during the Bhagavad Gita. So, this chapter 8 is the last verse of chapter 8, where Krishna says that if you become a devotee, then you have done all these things. You are not bereft of the result derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifice, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and at the end he reaches the supreme abode. So what is this devotional service? That if you perform devotional service, then you consider they've done all these things. So what is this devotional service? What's your idea of devotional service?
Something related to God.
Something related to God. Very good. What else? Don't know means don't know. There's also an answer, because everybody has to learn, right? Yes? Don't know. Very good. No problem. So what else? Anybody? What do you think here? By performing devotional service, you have done everything. So what is that devotional service? Seva. Seva. Seva to who? Seva for the temple. Temple, not to God, Krishna. Huh? Because temple got many other God also now. Very good. Pinpoint. So he says service to God, Krishna. That is devotion. So he's not wrong. So devotional service, as Krishna says here in Sanskrit, what is the word you use? Yogi param sthanam upaitya chadyam. Does he prefer to a yogi, no? That the devotee yogi. See? A yogi means Krishna here is defining him as a devotee. Right? So a devotee means what? Someone who is devoted to somebody, correct? Someone who is devoted to country, someone devoted to family, someone devoted to wife, children, this, that. So many. So your service is to so many things. So here Krishna is saying someone who is devoted to me. To me means to God Krishna. See? So this to qualify this, we will go to another verse. 6:46. So here there are different kinds of yogis. Krishna is saying here, you see this verse here? What kind of yogis are there?
तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी
Chant tapasya vyodhiko yogi
ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः
jnanebhyopi matodhikaha
कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी
karmabhyachadhiko yogi
तस्माद् योगी भवार्जुन.
tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. So Krishna is here explaining that different kind of yogis are there. So one yogi, what is this?
A yogi is greater than the ascetic,
So ascetic means what?
the tapasvi.
The one who is doing big tapasya. Correct? And then?
Greater than the empiricist,
So empiricist means who?
mental speculator.
Someone who is
Jnani.
Gyan, speculating. So one is a mystic yogi and the other one is the Jnana yogi. And then here,
Karmibhya.
Karma yogi, fruity worker. So a yogi is greater than all these people. In other words, one who is devoted to Krishna, he is become bigger or the higher than the one who is doing big yoga program. This mystic Siddhi yogi is bigger than this what? Jnana yogi, and is bigger than the Karma yogi. So then he said, therefore, O Arjuna, also come be a yogi. So now you may be surprised, but what this yogi very strange, no, doesn't make any sense, right? Correct? You may debate, you may argue. So in order to qualify this, Krishna spoke the next verse. You see what he says here in this verse.
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः. And of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
So you see here now, Krishna is qualifying this yogi's position. What's he doing, this yogi? He is always meditating on the Lord. He is what? Thinking of the all the time. Yes? So Krishna says someone who is thinking of me all the time, devoted to me, he is the highest. He is the what? Because sometimes they say karma yoga, I am doing karma yoga. Somebody say I am doing some meditation. Somebody says he's doing something, so many things, right? They're doing, correct? But among all these things, the one who is actually thinking of Krishna all the time, 24/7, he is considered as highest. So this again, Krishna said that is my opinion. Now you may have opinion, you may say something, he may say something, everybody may say something, correct? But what God says, that has to be accepted. Yes? You understand? Because his opinion is the you can go 7:29. So here, see, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, see,
Srimad Bhagavatam 7:29. तत्रोपाय सहस्राणाम् अयं भगवतोदितः यदीश्वरे भगवति यथा यैरञ्जसारथिः. Of the different processes recommended for disentanglement from material life, the one personally explained and accepted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be considered all perfect. That process is the performance of duties by which love for the Supreme Lord develops.
So many opinions are there. But the opinion of the Lord is, it says here, what opinion of the Lord is? English? Translate. See, of the different process recommended for disentanglement from material life, the one personally explained and accepted by Supreme Personality of Godhead should be considered all. So Krishna here is saying, this is my opinion. And this opinion of the Lord must be considered as most perfect. Yes? So now, we have Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Astanga Yoga, Hatha Yoga, so many yogas, correct? Among all these kind of yogas, the one who do Bhakti Yogi, Krishna say he is the highest. You understand? There's nothing higher than that. There cannot be anything higher than that. You see, you can go 11:26:30. 11:26:30. So here again Krishna says, this yoga is the topmost. You see this?
Bhaktim labdhavatah sadho
Bhaktim labdhavata sadho
kimanyad avashishyate
kim anyat avisishyate
mayyananta gune brahman
mayanta gune brahman
jnanandam anubhavatmani.
ananda anubhavatmani.
What more remains to be accomplished for the perfect devotee after achieving devotional service unto me, the Supreme Absolute Truth, whose qualities are innumerable and who am the embodiment of all ecstatic experience?
So what more? Once you become a devotee of Krishna, there's nothing more. The same thing Krishna says in this verse. Among all yogis, one who thinks of me 24 is considered as what? Topmost. Yes. You understand? And to do all this other yoga will be very difficult. Correct? Someone who is doing karma yoga, he may not have the knowledge about Krishna. Correct? To give you one example, very simple example. Someone who knows the sunshine, let's say you know the sunshine, right? But if you know the sunshine, you may not know the sun planet. Correct? So if you know the sun planet, you will know the sunshine, yes? But you may not know the person inside the sun planet. But if you know the person inside the sun planet, then you will know the planet and you will also know the sunshine. Is it not? Complete, is it not? Similarly, if you go to Krishna, then everything becomes complete. Everything becomes complete. Nothing more. That's why it says here, what more remains to be accomplished for a perfect devotee after achieving devotional service unto me? Understand? So Krishna is very pleased when someone becomes a devotee. Because that's the topmost position. That's why he told Arjuna, you become a devotee. You understand this point? So therefore, devotional service is very easy to do. Anybody can do. For example, karma yoga. Can a child do karma yoga? Can? It's not possible. Can a child or someone, a woman, anyone can do kind of hatha yoga? Go to the forest? Can? It's not possible. And Gyan, to know all this very, very sophisticated knowledge about all this method requires a lot of intelligence, is it not? And I don't think for others it's very valid, correct? But devotional service, anybody can do. Yes. And what is devotional service primarily? What is that? There's 9 forms of devotional service. You know there? How many forms? 9. Beginning from here, you see? Devotional service is divided into 9. Right? You see here? What is this? Oh. This
Shri
nine
Prahalad
forms.
Uvacha
Sri
Shravanam
Prahlada
Kirtanam
Vacha.
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoh Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam.
So these are the 9 process. Shravanam. What is Shravanam? Hearing. Kirtanam. Chanting. Shravanam, Kirtanam of who? Of Vishnu or Krishna, not Durga, Ganesh. No, he says here who? Only Vishnu. Right? Then, what is the next one?
Smaranam.
Smaranam. Smaranam means what? Remembering. That means what? Just by hearing and chanting, and then remembering. And then what you get? Pada Sevanam. Pada Sevanam means serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Archana means offering worship, puja. Right? And then Vandanam, offering prayers. Like now we are chanting all the mantras. This is what? Offering prayers. And Dasya means becoming a servant. Like who? Anuman. Anuman was what? Servant of Ram. Yes? And then Sakyam, Arjuna. He was becoming a friend of Krishna. And then Atma Nivedana. That means giving everything to Krishna. Like who? Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj offered his head to that means he's giving everything. So these are the 9 process of devotional service. If some people will chant, some people like to hear. Understand? And then just like Sukadev Goswami was chanting the whole Bhagavatam and Parikshit Maharaj was hearing. Right? And then what is the next one?
Smaranam.
Smaranam, thinking, always remembering the Lord. Who was that? Who? Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was always. You see here, I think this is the word. You got it?
It's not. Huh?
22:16. 1:3. So here you see 9 kind of people became perfect. Here, chant this.
Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshita Bhavad Vyasaki Kirtane Prahlada Smarane Tadangri Bhajane Lakshmi Prithu Pujane Akrurastvabhivandane Kapipatir Dasyetha Sakhyarjuna Sarvasvatmani Vedane Balirabhut Krishnaktiresham Para.
You read that.
Maharaj Parikshit attained the highest perfection, shelter at Lord Krishna's lotus feet simply by hearing about Lord Vishnu.
So Parikshit Maharaj, he heard the Bhagavatam, correct? He became perfect by hearing. See? And then what?
Shukadeva Goswami attained perfection simply by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam.
So Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadev by Kirtan, chanting. And then
Prahlad Maharaj attained perfection by remembering the Lord. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, attained perfection by massaging the transcendental legs of Mahavishnu.
Always you see Mahavishnu lying down, beside him who is there? Lakshmi, and what she is doing? Massaging the feet of the Lord. He became perfect by that. See? Understand? Then?
Maharaj Prithu attained perfection by worshipping the deity.
Prithu Maharaj is an incarnation of the Lord. He became perfect by worshipping the deity of the Lord. Then?
And Akrura attained perfection by offering prayers unto the Lord.
Akrura was praying to the Lord. I think in the Krishna book, you can go to 10:48, you see, there he is praying to the Lord. When he saw the lotus feet of the Lord, he jumped down and he was smearing the dust all over his body. He was so anxious to see Krishna. Then
Vajrangji Hanuman attained perfection by rendering service to Lord Ramachandra.
So Hanuman became servant. Yes, Dasya, right? And then Arjuna became perfect.
Arjuna attained perfection simply by being Krishna's friend.
So Arjuna became Krishna's what?
Right.
Then
Bali Maharaj attained perfection by dedicating everything to the lotus feet of Krishna.
So these are examples of devotees who do particular service and attain perfection. But there are also devotees who do everything. You know? Go.
Bhagavatam 9:4:18 to 20.
So here you see, this is Ambarish Maharaj. He did all 9. He did what? Can you read?
Savaimana Krishna Padaravindayor Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanuvarnane Karau Harer Mandiramarjanadishu Shrutim Chakarachyuta Satkathodaye Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drisho Tadbhritya Gatra Sparshenga Sangamam Ghranam Chatatpada Saroja Saurabhe Srimad Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite पादौ हरे क्षेत्र पदानुसर्पणे शिरो हृषिकेश पदाभिवन्दने कामं च दास्ये न तु काम काम्यया यथोत्तम श्लोक जनाश्रया रतिः. Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna, his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples, and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulsi offered to the Lord, and he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasada. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires.
I don't know, you can do that. Huh? Yeah, the mind is running like a what? A yo-yo, right? Yes, even you sit down and you say, today I will chant nicely. The moment you sit down, open the mouth, the mind is going somewhere else. Is it not? See? So you see how difficult it is. So you see, in order to get all 9 is very difficult. Yes? Yes or no? So, but then, if you do this one, especially this one, what is that one? Huh?
Chanting.
Bhakti. I mean, 9 is bhakti. So why is the one? Make a guess. What? Taking prasadam. which is the one that you do? 15, 107. So you see here, by this doing this 9 is very difficult. Yes? Yes or no? Hello? Huh? So Krishna has made it easy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said this, you see.
एक कृष्ण नामे करे सर्व पाप क्षय नवविधा भक्ति पूर्ण नाम होते होय. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna once, a person is relieved from all the reactions of a sinful life. One can complete the 9 processes of devotional service simply by chanting the holy name.
What is the holy name?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So you can complete this 9 process by doing what? Only? That anyone can do? Yes. Child can do, adult can do, women can do, anybody can do this. But you ask about the yoga, oh, it's very, very difficult. Yes. Correct? Just like you have this 9 process in devotional service, just to let you know a bit more. And when you do yoga, the so-called exercising, there also, I think there's 8 process there before you can get this samadhi. You know, samadhi means to remember, correct? You see here. You see this? First one is what? Yama, niyama, asana. The yama means following the what? Yama means controlling the, I think, senses, controlling the senses, right? And then niyama means what? Rules and regulation. Niyam, they say. I think in Hindi they say that. Yam, niyam, correct? And then you have asana. Asana means what? All that
Posture.
kind of sitting position, putting the head over the tail and tail over this is all very all the gymnastics, is it not? And then you got what? Pranayam. What is pranayam? What?
Breath control.
You take out the words. Take out
Is that-
pranayam.
What
I
pranayam?
think it is in 1051. No. You type pranayam, it will come out.
There are 282 results.
You see, pranayam you do, you cannot really get free from all sinful actions. It's not possible. You cannot fix your mind completely. It's explained in this verse. Hey, Haribo, 1060 something, I think. You type pranayam, you will get it. Actually, it is there in 6 same word is there. Here, eh? No, pranayam. You go to 10. Yeah, 10. Yeah, 10:51:60, correct. So if you practice this pranayam, you see here, this verse,
Yunjananam abhaktanam pranayamadibhirmanah akshina vasanam rajan drishyate punarutthitam.
so here you see the translation.
The minds of non-devotees who engage in such practices as pranayama are not fully cleansed of material desires. Thus, O king, material desires are again seen to arise in their minds.
You see this point here? So if you know what is pranayama, no? They breathe in one side, and then they breathe the other side, like that. Then they try to balance it some opposite direction. Instead of going this way, you come out this way, and you understand? And then they try to balance there. It's not very easy to do. You can try. I mean, it's free for everybody. Yes. But Krishna says, when you become perfect in this, you cannot cleanse yourself from all material. That means it's not very perfect. It's not very. So the next one, pranayam, the next one.
Pratyahara.
Huh? What is that? Yeah, pratyahara. It's not complete. No? There's dhyana and then there's,
Okay.
I think it's 527. 527, 28, yeah. So you see here, pratyahara. Pratyahara means like a tortoise. A tortoise, when you touch him, what happens? He draws all his leg inside, correct? So pratyahara means you be able to withdraw your senses. You understand? You're thinking of something and disturbing you. You cannot draw that back. Yes, it takes you away because the mind, it says in another place, I think it's 72 or 73, that the both, even one of the senses are not in control. It can sweep you away. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying here, in this verse, you see,
Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano nuvidhiyate tadasya harati prajñam vayurnavamivam bhasi. As a strong wind sweeps away a board on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence.
even one of the senses, you can carry away your intelligence. That's why when we say our pratyahara means you'll be able to control, you're able to withdraw. That's not something easy to do. You think it's easy? Controlling your mind is easy? No, it's not possible. Is it? Then, next one, what is that? Dharana.
Dharana.
Dharana means you become fixed up in your thinking. That means you're always meditating on the they will say one point, but in this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, meditating on me. Understand? In 6:14 Bhagavad Gita, you see what Krishna said. They got it all mixed up. This yoga program is completely, they're going there for what? Slimming down so they can do more sense gratification. This is their program. It's all kind of crazy yoga. Yes? You understand? So you see here, Krishna says, Manaha samyamya marchito. What is this marchito? Mat means who? Mat means Krishna. And chito means think. See? Mat upon me, Krishna. Chittaha, concentrating the mind. So mat chitta means you go and meditate on the form of the Lord. Not on all this crazy thing. They say meditate on some what? Some light. Somebody says some sound, somebody says so many things. Yes, but here Krishna is saying you must think of me. You see, they're different. That's why you have to know this thing. Why am I saying this thing? Because everybody is doing some kind of crazy yoga. Yes? Is it not? Yeah. And everybody thinks this is God. This is religion. No. So then finally you get into
Dhyana.
Dhyana means then when you are fixed up,
Concentrate.
then you can concentrate, and finally you come to Samadhi. So how long the process is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finally you are thinking of the Lord. Correct? How difficult this is? Is it easy to do? Easy. Easy to do. So now we go back to the other verse. You see here, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, and then immediately thinking already. Smaran. What is the process? How easy it is? Bhakti is how easy? Just 3 steps. And what is that? Hearing and chanting, and immediately you will remember. This is not some joke. This is also spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 773. You see here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this. And then Pada Sevanam. And then what? Pada Sevanam means what? You get to think of the Lord's lotus feet. See? In this verse, you see?
Krishna mantra hoite hobe samsara mochana. Krishna nama hoite pave Krishnera charana. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. Indeed, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord.
See? So how easy this is? How what? Is it easy or not? No. Simply by doing what? Chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And today's verse, not only you get to see Krishna's lotus feet, you get free from all material desire. You are not bereft for doing all those things. What is that? It's not bereft giving donation, doing sacrifice, studying the Vedas. Today's verse, yes? By just chanting Krishna's name, you are doing all these things already. 333. See, again, another verse, you see?
Aho badashvapachoto gariyan yajjihvagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juhubuh sasnurarya brahmano churnama grinanti yete. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog-eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required.
See this? Just by chanting Krishna's name, it's considered that you have done all these things. Today's verse also. By doing devotional service, you're not bereft of studying the Vedas, doing tapasya. You're not. See how potent this program of opening the mouth and what? Chanting? Hare Krishna. And it's not something easy, In fact, to do this program of chanting Krishna's name, you must have done so many what? Births. You must have taken so many births. Only then you can come to this level of chanting Krishna's name. You can see 719 Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, unless one has taken many births, one who has taken so many births, See this.
Bahunam janmanamante
Bahunam janmanam ante
Jnanavan mam prapadyate
Jnanavan mam prapadyate
Vasudeva sarvamiti
Vasudevam sarvamiti
Samahatma sudurlabha.
Samahatma sudurlabham.
After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare.
See, to come to this point of course, if you accept Vasudeva means you will be chanting his name, is it not? Huh? Not that you just accept Krishna and you will not glorify him, doesn't make sense. Yes, understand now. So this is how you can see that to come to this point of chanting Hare Krishna is not such a cheap thing. In another place, it says, unless a person has done this for hundreds of lives, where that 11.538. So 11.538. You see, if you come to the point of chanting means you must have taken hundreds of births. How much birth? Hello?
Purport, right?
Yeah. You're going to take that out. Yeah, this one.
Yena janma shataihi purvam Vasudeva Vasudeva samarchitaham Tanmukhe harinamani sada tishtanti bharata. The purport of 11.538. O descendant of Bharata, the holy names of Lord Vishnu are always vibrating in the mouth of one who has previously worshipped Vasudeva perfectly for hundreds of lifetimes.
So this program that you have been introduced to chant Hare Krishna is not something cheap, It's not something, no. Understand? It is something that you have done so much of piety. Then you qualify for this. And Krishna also said in the Bhagavad Gita, for one, in fact here in this verse, he says, just one verse before, better than meditation is opening the lips and chanting. People are so fond of this meditation. Here you see what Krishna did. See, you read this.
Agachit smaranam Vishnur bahvayasena sadhyate oshthas spandanamatreena kirtanam tutatovaram. Although capable of destroying all sins, the remembrance of Lord Vishnu is achieved only with extraordinary effort. On the other hand, one may perform Krishna Kirtan simply by moving one's lips, and thus this process is superior.
See that? Trying to remember. Hello, you think it's easy? Well, the moment you remember, then you try to meditate, then the phone is ringing. Correct? Is it not? Is it so easy? Hello? In fact, even Arjuna is saying, control the mind is so difficult. Controlling the mind is what?
So difficult.
Are you better than Arjuna? Yeah? Arjuna is having who beside him? Who? His grandfather. Who? Who is he having? And with Krishna by his side, he is saying it's so difficult to control the mind. And you without Krishna around, and for you it's so easy. Yes? Come on, whose legs you are trying to pull? Nonsense. Yes? Understand? So therefore, Krishna says the mind is this verse. You see, Sanskrit. Everybody can chant this.
Chanchalam hi manah Krishna
Chanchalam he manah Krishna
Pramati balavadridham
Pramati balavadridham
Tasyaham nigraham manye
Tasyaham nigraham manye
Vayoriva sudushkaram
Vayureva sudushkaram.
The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
See that? Now you may think, Arjuna is just talking, you know. I've got perfect control of the mind. Yeah. You see what Krishna says. 11:16. 11:16:6, I think. No, 11:16:11. I think so, right? Yeah, correct.
गुणिनामप्यहं सूत्रं महतां च महानहं सूक्ष्माणामप्यहं जीवो दुर्जयानामहं मनः.
Durjayanam aham manaha. You see what Krishna is saying?
Among things possessing qualities, I am the primary manifestation of nature, and among great things, I am the total material creation. Among subtle things, I am the spirit soul, and of things that are difficult to control or conquer, I am the mind.
And of things that are difficult to conquer, I am the. This is the word of who? Krishna himself. So don't think that it is such an easy thing. You got this mind and you can handle it. Yes, it's very difficult. So unless we take shelter of Krishna, then it is not possible to control this. It is not possible at all. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7:14.
Bhagavad Gita 7:14 Daivi hiesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante maya me tam tarantite. This divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it.
See, therefore Krishna says what to do with this crazy mind? You think of me. 2 times he says, Man, Mana, Bhava, Mad, Bhak. I think you know this verse, right? It's very famous. I think they give this verse so many times in this class. Man, Mana, Bhava, Mad, Bhakta. You see? You see, so the Man, Mana means what? Engage your mind in thinking of me. This is what Krishna is saying. Correct.
Manmana bhava madbhakto
Manmana bhava madbhakto
madhyaji mam namaskuru
madhyaji mam namaskuro
mame vaishyasi yuktvaivam
yuktaivam
atmanam matparayana.
Atmanamatparayana.
Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
So this whole idea is to try to engage the mind in thinking of Krishna, and that is devotional service. And second time you say again, you see?
1865 Manmana bhava madbhakto madhya jimam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me.
So here he changed the last 2 lines. In the last 2 lines it says pratijane what is that?
Mame vaishyasi
satyam te. What is this word satyam? When I think it's also in all of your languages, no? When you promise somebody, what you say? What do you say? Is it something? What do you say? Satyam te means what? I'm speaking the truth. I promise you. Yes? Yes or no? The same word Krishna is using. Satyam te, I what? I promise you. In other words, if you take up this program of thinking on chanting Krishna's name, you are definitely going home back to, I promise you. I mean, look, if God promised you, He's going to break it over. Yes. You see how this process of chanting Krishna's name is the easiest method, and if you do that, you are considered to have done all other things, and it's the most easiest to do. Yes? Yes or no? It's not difficult. In fact, it says in other words, I think it's what 15.110, is it? You can see here in 15.110, is this verse, you see?
The verse, is it? The verse?
Go to Sanskrit, chant, yeah.
आकृष्टिः कृतचेतसां सुमनसाम् उच्चाटनं चांहसाम् आचण्डालममोकलोकसुलभो वश्यश्च मुक्तिश्रियाः नो दीक्षां न च सत्क्रियां न च पुरश्चर्यां मनागीक्षते मन्त्रोऽयं रसनास्पृगेव फलति श्रीकृष्णनामात्मकः. The holy name of Lord Krishna is an attractive feature for many saintly liberal people. It is the annihilator of all sinful reactions and is so powerful that, save for the dumb who cannot chant it, it is readily available to everyone, including the lowest type of man, the Chandala. The holy name of Krishna is the controller of the opulence of liberation, and it is identical with Krishna. When a person simply chants the holy name with his tongue, immediate effects are produced. Chanting the holy name does not depend on initiation, pious activities, or the Purascharya regulative principles generally observed before initiation. The holy name does not wait for any of these activities, it is self-sufficient.
It is so powerful. When you say Krishna, that means Krishna is already in your tongue. Understand? Otherwise, how you can keep chanting for years and years and years, days and years? Yeah. Can you try your chant from prasadam, prasadam, prasadam? You think you can start eating prasadam? Is it possible? It's not possible. But when you say Krishna, Krishna is already dancing in your. Understand? Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. You see in this verse, the Padma Purana, 17,133. Yeah, correct. You see this verse, you can chant. This is a very nice verse.
Nama Chintamani Krishna
Nama Chintamani Krishna
Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha
Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha
Purna Shuddho Nityamukto
Purna Shuddho Nityamukto
Abhinatvan Nama Namino.
Abhinatvam Nama Nam. This Abhinatvam means non-different. It is the same. The name and Krishna are non-different. See?
The holy name of Krishna is transcendently blissful. It bestows all spiritual benedictions, for it is Krishna himself, the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete, and it is the form of all transcendental mellows. It is not a material name under any condition, and it is no less powerful than Krishna himself. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by the material qualities, there is no question of its being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. This is because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical.
The name of Krishna and Krishna is very. See, so many people ask, where is this God? Where is this what? Show me this God. Correct? So they do not know. If you chant Krishna's name, you are actually with God. You actually with who? Understand? Krishna is, you can associate with God in the form of the sound vibration. The sound of what? You understand? It is explained here in this verse, 11, 12, 17. So in this verse you see, Krishna is explaining this verse that you want to experience God, Krishna, you can do so by the sound vibration. What? How? Sound vibration. That's why the chanting is so important. Here, this verse.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Saesha Jivo Vivara Prasutih Pranena Ghoshena Guham Pravishtaha Manomayam Sukshmam Upetya Rupam Matra Swaro Varna Itis Havishtaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Uddhava, the Supreme Lord gives life to every living being and is situated within the heart along with the life air and primal sound vibration. The Lord can be perceived in his subtle form within the heart by one's mind, since the Lord controls the minds of everyone, even great demigods like Lord Shiva. The Supreme Lord also assumes a gross form as the various sounds of the Vedas composed of short and long vowels and consonants of different intonations.
See that? He controls, 1 second about the mind. No? See? The Lord can be perceived in a subtle form within the heart by one's mind. By the primal sound vibration. You see that? See, by that sound vibration, you can perceive the Lord in your heart. You understand? It's not that God is not available. No. You can actually feel Him. All you got to do is call Him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. This sound vibration, you can immediately perceive the presence of the Lord in your heart. It is not that you cannot see God, you cannot understand. No. It's just that there is a process. That process is called devotional service. As Krishna says, you cannot come to me by any other means except bhaktyamam abhijanante yavan yasmin tattvataha. You see this verse? Only by devotional service. Actually, the one in 1154 is better. Only by devotional service. You can see me as I. See, Krishna is saying, you see?
1154 Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya ahameva vidhorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly.
Thus can be seen directly. You understand this point? It is not that God is absurd thing and imagination and nonsense. There is a process. And the process in Kali Yuga is only one. What is that? Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way other than chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name. So you see how this process is. In today's class, I tried to explain to you how the importance of chanting. And if you chant, it is not that you're bereft of doing all the other kind of a karma kanda thing or this yajna or that thing or studying the way. No, it is what? By doing just this chanting, it includes all these things. Includes all these things. You understand? And in fact, I've already shown, just by chanting, you will very quickly achieve the topmost position of becoming a servant of Krishna and pleasing Him completely. And that's now I showed you that there's nothing more to do. If you open your mouth and chant, there's what? Nothing more. Nothing more. In fact, there's two things that are very important. You know that. 16, 15, 51. 6, 16, 51. There are two things are very important here. You see here?
Shabda Brahma Param.
6, 16. 15.
Aham vai sarva bhutani bhutatma bhuta bhavanah shabda brahma param brahma mamo bheshashvati tanu.
Sabda Brahman, Param Brahma. Two things. You see here, translation.
All living entities, moving and non-moving, are my expansions and are separate from me. I am the super soul of all living beings who exist because I manifest them. I am the form of the transcendental vibrations like Omkara and Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, and I am the supreme absolute truth. These two forms of mine, namely the transcendental sound and the eternally blissful spiritual form of the deity, are my eternal forms. They are not material.
So these two things are required, because to chant Hare Krishna, of course it is very powerful, but we are not so, what we say, very advanced. So we need to see the form of the Lord. Yes. So when we see the form of the Lord and chant, it is so much easier for our mind. You understand? That's why devotional service, it requires also the deity of the Lord. If you are very advanced like Haridas Thakur and sit down anywhere and chant, yeah, you can do. I mean, I have no objection, but you cannot. You understand? In Kali Yuga, we are all very conditioned. So we need the deity of the Lord. That's why you come here, you see the deity of the Lord, you become very, what? Attracted, is it not? So that's the system. So therefore, devotional service is complete simply by chanting Hare Krishna and worshipping the Lord. Then everything becomes perfect. There's nothing more to do. You don't require to do anything. In fact, anything else, you can go to another place before I wrap up. 8:23:16. If other things also is not going well, is simply if you chant, everything becomes perfect. Everything becomes. See this?
Mantratas-tantratas-chhidram desha-kalarha vastutah sarvam karoti nischhidram anusankirtanam tava. There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing the regulative principles, and moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, person, and paraphernalia. But when your Lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless.
See that? When your holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless. So who will not do this? Who? Who? And of course, Yamaraj wants. If you don't want to do, all right, he says here, go. For those person who don't want to, stubborn, no, tomorrow I will do. And tomorrow never comes. Yes, correct? These are the person, he said, what he said, you don't want to do? He says this.
जिह्वानवक्ति भगवद्गुणनामधेयं चेतश्चन स्मरति तच्चरणारविन्दं कृष्णाय नो नमति यच्चिर एकदापि तानानयद्भमसतो कृतविष्णुकृत्यान्. My dear servants, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Krishna.
Yamaraj is saying what? No time, bro. All who chant this no time mantra, please. Yamaraj got a lot of time for you. Yes? Understand? So why you don't want to take up this thing? Just now we read, meditation is difficult. But it is so easy to open the mouth and say what? Hare Krishna. Correct? So please take it as seriously. This verse, today's verse, chanting Krishna's name is considered as the topmost activity. There's nothing more than that. And it's very easy to do. Anywhere you can do, anytime, any place, any. Yes? So please take it a little seriously. Anyone has any questions up to here? Because Singapore is the only place where there's no questions. Every country I go, there's so many questions. Singapore, everyone is realized soul. Yes? Nobody has questions. Prasadam, everybody is. So unless you ask question, how you will advance? Yes? How? Correct? Yes or not? Huh? Yes or no?
You are telling so clearly.
What?
You are telling so clearly there is no question.
For him is no question.
He's saying you're telling so clearly, no question.
Telling so clearly, no question. But somebody is not clear also, no? Sometimes they space up. Yes?
It is said that by one chanting, all are done, all 9 forms. And Ambarish did all 9. It's difficult to do all 9. But we have. It's more difficult. Is it not more difficult to do one of them, like Haridas Thakur chanting only? Our mind is restless. We actually have to chant for some time, hear for some time, go to the temple for some time, do some service there with the hands, and all these 9. Is it not easier to do that then?
So this is the point that first we have to practice a system called Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means we are forced to do by the order of the spiritual master. So our mind is going so many places. But because we are ordered to do by the spiritual master, we will have to abide by the order. For example, those who come to us here, they must chant 16 rounds a day. That takes about 2 hours. And you cannot, follow the 4 principles, no meat, fish, egg, onion, garlic, coffee, tea, this, that, so many things are there. Yes? So when you follow these rules and regulation, as you go and you make progress, eventually you come to, what is that? Raganuga Bhakti. Yeah? And that bhakti means you are getting so much love that you do it spontaneously. You understand? So initially you have to be pushed like a child. Parents have to always buck the child. He's not willing to do. Yes. So like that we need that. What do you call that? Pushing the discipline to move us forward. Understand? So easy. The spiritual master has made it easy. You chant 16 rounds a day. Initially, you may not do 16, but you slowly climb the ladder. Yes? And it's not difficult. As you keep progressing more and more, you find that it's easy to do. And you'll also find that your mind becomes very much what? Pacified, controlled. You understand? This is the process. And because of surrendering to the spiritual master, he gives you the strength to, in this verse today in the purport, in order for us to become successful, we must surrender to a spiritual master. Understand? If you don't surrender to the spiritual master, then it's very difficult to do this program. It is explained here in 1087:33. One who don't surrender will have unlimited what? Difficulties in their distressful practice. So Guru is very, very important. Guru is very, very important. Because without the Guru's pushing, nobody can become successful. Not only pushing, blessing also. See?
The mind is like an impetuous horse that even persons who have regulated their senses and breath cannot control. Those in this world who try to tame the uncontrolled mind but who abandon the feet of their spiritual master encounter hundreds of obstacles in their cultivation of various distressful practices. O unborn Lord, they are like merchants on a boat in the ocean who have failed to employ a helmsman.
So in a boat, you don't have a helmsman. How to move the boat? In fact, there's another word, no? Pangum langayate girim. Sri Guru Dinataranam. One who has the mercy of God, Krishna, actually two, the certain words, forgot two things. One who's got mercy of the Guru, the blind can, the lame can cross over mountains and the dumb can speak, This is the verse here. Yeah, this verse. Mukam karoti vachalam.
This is Paramananda Madhavam. No?
This is about Krishna. There's another one, Sri Guru Dinadhara. Anyway, the point is that, you surrender to Krishna or Guru is the same thing, See the translation?
Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yatkrpatamaham vande Paramananda Madhavam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead as the form of Satchidananda Vigraha, transcendental bliss, knowledge, and eternity. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Him who turns the dumb into eloquent speakers and enables the lame to cross mountains. Such is the mercy of the Lord.
Or the spiritual master. So if without the mercy of spiritual master, it is like you don't get the power, The spiritual master helps you to give you the strength getting from Krishna. That's why Guru is very important. Nowadays, many people are very skeptical about surrendering to some gurus because of, you come from India, you know how bad it is, So many guys are walking around with so many beards and kamandalu and so many things, giving a very bad opinion actually. Yes, so that becomes a bit of a drawback. But no, they are still bona fide spiritual masters. Especially here, you can see Prabhupada. It's one of the most bona fide spiritual master coming down in a proper chain. If you take shelter of him, you can see we all are sitting here mainly because of his mercy. If you think that we are speaking so eloquently and showing you verses and all that, I never studied Sanskrit. I'm coming from this country. I'm born here. For me to know all these things and explain, I can only attribute to one thing. It is the mercy of my spiritual master. And it's not only for me, it is open for everybody. You can also come, follow this, and get connected to him and receive the same message. It is not that only we can get and nobody, like caste Brahmin, only born. We are only born Brahmin, nobody else can become. No. This process is open to everybody. All you got to do is open your heart, surrender to Prabhupada, and that's it. And once you do that, going home back to God, it is definitely certain. For one who chants Krishna's name, going back to Godhead is assured. It's what? Unless if you don't want to go back, then I cannot say anything. It's your choice. So, okay, thank you very much. I think, what?
What a question for you. When Krishna's name is so powerful, even after chanting many times, why the transformation is not happening?
So devotional service, when you chant, there's 3 stages. The first stage is called Nama Aparat stage. The next stage is called Nama Abhar stage. And finally, you get the Krishna Prem stage. So when you chant, this stage you have to go through. So although you are chanting and you are thinking that you are chanting, Prabhupada said to chant good round, it takes at least 20 years. How many years you are chanting? 20 years. You see, so you see how you have to be patient, gradually, understand. But even though you are not actually getting the higher taste, but it's also becoming blissful, is it not? Otherwise, why you will do? You will not do. You follow. So chanting Krishna's name is very, very powerful. This verse is explained in Antya 360. Antya 360. The
नामैकं यस्य वाची स्मरणपथगतं श्रोत्रमूलं गतं वा शुद्धवर्णं व्यवहितरहितं तारयत्येव सत्यं तच्चेद्देहद्रविणजनता लोभपाषण्डमध्ये निक्षिप्तं स्यान्नफलजनकं शीघ्रमेवात्र विप्रा. If a devotee once utters the holy name of the Lord, or if it penetrates his mind or enters his ear, which is the channel of oral reception, that holy name will certainly deliver him from material bondage, whether vibrated properly or improperly, with correct or incorrect grammar, or properly joined or vibrated in separate parts. O Brahmana, the potency of the holy name is therefore certainly great. However, if one uses the vibration of the holy name for the benefit of the material body, for material wealth and followers, or under the influence of greed or atheism, in other words, if one utters the name with offenses, such chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. Therefore, one should diligently avoid offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord.
Yeah. So because of the 10 offenses, our result is a little, what you said? Huh?
Krishna name is as Paras Mani.
What?
Paras Mani. The Krishna name itself is called as Paras Mani. Then it's because love and devotion. Why is not
I didn't hear that.
Could not hear.
His name is Paras Mani. When the name is being done, why we are not that much expecting transformation?
If the name is like Chintamani, like a touchstone, then it should, whatever it touches, it should change. So however we touch the holy name, it should purify us. Why we are not getting transformed?
Yes, the holy name is indeed very, very powerful. But in order to get that full potency, we have to chant. For example, if you chant Hare Krishna and you think that Krishna's name, Shiva, Muruga, Ganesh, everybody is the same, then your chanting doesn't have full effect. So like that, there are 10 offenses. You see, it's a problem. Sometimes we chant, but in our mind, we think Ganesh is okay, Shiva is okay. You understand? I'm just giving you an example. There are 10 like that offenses. Understand? The first one is also to blaspheme the devotees. If you are chanting and you're thinking bad of devotees, then this is also not good. You understand? So these are all what we say offenses that you should avoid. These are guidelines. So if you follow this guideline, very quickly the holy name will act. That's like it says here. It does not produce the desired result very soon. Right? Therefore, one should diligently avoid offense in chanting the holy name of the Lord. You understand? This is chanting Krishna's name. But if you chant the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there's no offense. Then because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it doesn't. That's why we say you chant this name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first before you start chanting. Because we see, like now you say, why you cannot get this? Because we need the mercy of the Lord. And for that purpose, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared. You understand? So if you don't chant, like I give you another example. There are many other groups also they're chanting. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. You go everywhere. I was in Rishikesh. I went to one ashram. They're also chanting. They're not from our group. They're chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare. They're chanting. And then they say, Prabhu, if you are tired, you can go down. They have coffee there. I was surprised. What kind of ashram is this? You understand? So, in order to get that result, you need to go through a proper bona fide channel. You understand this point? Yeah? So, therefore, it is stated here in this, I think it's 8:32.
I went to 8:32, but
I think it's 26. No, yeah, 31, 32, 31 there. Unless you take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you cannot get the result. I think another verse. Next verse, I think.
32.
Yeah. See, if one chants with some slight faith the holy name of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, very quickly he is cleansed of all these offenses, and thus, soon as he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he feels the ecstasy, love of God. You understand this point? So that's why here we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is not in any other temple. Yeah? Why? Because through him only we can get Krishna. I think the next verse is one more verse, just behind next verse. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead, is greatly magnanimous. Unless one worship him, one can never be liberated. This is because Krishna came as in Kali Yuga. So you try to avoid him, I don't know, you will go back to Godhead. You understand? Is it clear? Good. So that's why we emphasize worshipping of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. This mantra. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Siddhi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And then you chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You see how quickly, of course, we also had another thing. Without the help of a spiritual master, then all these mantras also won't work. Of course, it may help you to some extent, but if you want to get the full benefit, you must take to devotional service by getting initiated through a spiritual master. Otherwise, you can go on sitting here, as Prabhupada said, 300 million years, you can go on chanting 300 million. No problem. And you will only come 300 million years. You understand? Nothing will go. You follow? You can see 15:108, go to the Diksha. If you don't take Diksha, you see this verse?
The verse or the purport?
That was the Diksha. Adiksha.
Adikshitasya Vamora.
Yeah, Adiksha. See here this verse, unless one is initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, all his devotional activities are useless. A person who is not properly initiated can descend again to the animal species. What for fun is it? This is stated? Because it's the most important thing. Because Krishna will not give the mercy unless you go through his devotee. You understand? There's no shortcut to this. You follow? And you have to decide on this. I want to surrender. I want to get the mercy. That should be in the heart. Otherwise, why? You can sit here like a Hindu, come here and mark their attendance. And Prabhu, very nice, Prabhu, very nice. Take prasadam and go home. And you can do that for millions of years. Nothing will happen in your heart. You understand? That's why this is a very important point. If you want to make it back to the spiritual world, spiritual master is very important. In fact, there's an injunction that you must surrender to Guru. What is that? Tat vijnanartham sam eva guru abhigachat. You must surrender to a spiritual master. That's why in this today's purport, it clearly explained that you must take shelter of a spiritual master. So there's no shortcut to that. See, this verse, abhigachat, you must. You cannot say maybe, could be, might be. No. You have to take shelter of the spiritual master. Because we have so much of sins, we are not so pure. So when you take initiation, the spiritual master takes away all your sinful activities. Then you start in a clean state. And your chanting and everything becomes very improved. Otherwise, yes, poison is also very powerful, You touch a little bit of that, what happens? All right, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I think you go for prasadam. You go up to the 5th floor and take prasadam. And then, of course, if you have any more questions, there are many, many devotees here who all are very competent and you can talk to them and they're able to guide you more. So please remember, coming and chanting Krishna's name in the association of devotees is very, very important. Very quickly you can make spiritual advance. Alright? Hare Krishna. That's why we actually invite you to come here every morning, 5 o'clock, especially those who are free on Saturday and Sunday. You can make an attempt to come here at 5 a.m. and chant with us. And this will be a very, very good experience to uplift your spiritual life. The spiritual life starts not in the evening. It starts when? Morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, Brahma Murta time. Right? So try and see if you can do it. Thank you very much.